Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Burn and Learn, the Cigar Lifestyle Podcast. As you can see, we're not in our typical venue at Rebellion. We're honored today to be at Brivado Cigars in Orange, New Jersey. Again, my name is Steve Mann. I have esteemed guests here today, Brian Agnew, Marvin Pettus, and Paul Murdock. I will let you gentlemen introduce yourself.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Brivado Cigars. Bravado is sort of the heartbeat right now of the cigar industry in the state of New Jersey. Brian Agnew, the founder and owner of Brivado Cigars. We created a line about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
And many asked the question, when were we going to have a lounge that aligned with that brand? So the vision, the concept, the thought of Bravado Cigars comes from this brainchild here.
Gotcha. So the cigar line you introduced how many years ago? 3 years ago?
About 3 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lounge you opened up how long ago?
About 7 months.
Gotcha.
7 months.
Okay.
So excited to have this place. Excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Good to talk about it.
We're looking forward to the conversation. We'll get into more information about the lounge and about the line. Marvin, how about your background a little bit?
Hi, good afternoon, Steve. I'm an attorney by trade.
Okay.
I'm a partner in the law firm of Quinteros, Pietro, Wood, and Boyer. What we do is insurance, personal injury defense work. Been doing that for the past 30 some odd years now. Hoping to retire soon. And in my pastime, I come to Bravado and just have a cigar and good company and chop it up with the brothers.
Gotcha. You want to give a shout to your undergrad alma mater?
Hey, go Orange, Syracuse University, the best.
Georgetown guy. I had to get that in.
What's a Hoya? I don't know.
We'll get back into that. You thought I forgot, didn't you? You thought I forgot. I remember.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul? We'd love to know a little bit more about your background.
Oh, great. So let me start off by saying I also went to Syracuse.
Beautiful. I'm outnumbered.
And yes, we still don't know what a Hoyer is, but I'm president and founder of a consultant firm by the name of MCG Consultant Services. And what we do, we focus on financial services industry, and we provide regulatory advice as well as we partner with a number of folks that provide specific products within our industry. So that's what I do. We're a kind of international firm. We're based in New York over by Grand Central. And yeah, that's what we do. That's my day job.
Gotcha. And then how long has the firm been open?
10 years.
Okay. Yeah. And is it focused on corporate or retail clientele? Or
So it's focused on basically institutional customers.
Gotcha.
So our typical clients are hedge funds, banks, private equity shops, and we give advice to them. So we don't give advice to retail customers. People ask me all the time, how should I invest in, XYZ stock? We don't do that, but we advise the firms that do that.
Got you. Makes sense. I like it.
And Steve, I feel so guilty because I didn't follow the directions. My background is former higher ed and healthcare executive.
Yep.
I run a management consulting practice full time and do business turnarounds. And the idea was, as I see people, I thought about spaces that we want to convene in and engage, and it sort of just dovetails into the love of cigars and the creation of Bravado.
Sure. No, I love that. And as you guys know, my background, I shared it on earlier conversations, 20 years in corporate lending and investment banking, and then about 10 years as a tech leader at Microsoft and a couple of their subsidiaries. Recently semi-retired, started the podcast in December as a way to just kind of bring some energy and some creativity around this cigar lifestyle that I just really love. And then along the way, decided to create a platform called Stogie Hub, which is essentially an eBay-like platform specifically for cigar aficionados. So, along the way, as my palate has evolved for the taste of cigars, so too has my palate evolved for the cigar accessories.
Gotcha.
So the things that I used to use, cutters, lighters, humidors, I don't use any longer, kind of moved on to other things.
Yeah.
And so part of what I do in this podcast is impart wisdom and share so people can learn and grow. And part of that is helping people that want to become more knowledgeable around the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so the platform is a way to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So, sharing the things that we no longer want so that we can get the things we need, while at the same time educating new aficionados is kind of what I'm focused on.
Gotcha.
So that's just me in a nutshell. Other than that, I'd absolutely love to know more, Brian, about your boutique cigar line, and then we'll get into the lounge. Because one of the things I really enjoy about this conversation is I think it's truly unique to have a guy that owns a boutique line as well as a lounge.
Yeah.
So I want to know about the intersectionality of those two things and how this went from paper to execution, because you've got a beautiful lounge here, and I'd love to know the story and how it all evolved, starting with the cigar line.
Thank you. So, what's interesting is everyone has a house cigar, right? And we knew eventually we were going to create Bravado, the lounge, but we didn't just want to create a cigar line that was, some people sometimes just use it to put a label on. We didn't want that.
Gotcha.
We actually spent the time getting into the recipes of the cigars, similar to one that I'm about to light right now. But we started saying, how do we create a cigar line that could rival some of the best lines out there, right? So creating the recipes, working with some of these gentlemen here to try them out. We'd have some get-togethers where we were able to just sample. And who doesn't love an opportunity to come together and sample free cigars? I heard some great feedback. I heard some not so great feedback. And we would go back to the drawing board to refine the recipes to get to what we now have as 9 SKUs in the lineup of Brivado cigars. So we started with a mild blend, standard Connecticut, Pennsylvania wrapper, right? We keep that in a Robusto size and a Toro size. Entry level, people love it. We then went to a premier boutique cigar, which is the one in your hand. That is our dual wrap. Some people call it the Barber Pole.
Barber Pole.
You'll hear it called Bellicoso. That cigar right there, Dominican hand rolled, has a blended wrapper of both a Connecticut with a Maduro, but a mild filler. So what you're getting is the added flavor of the Maduro wrapper without the fullness of the Maduro body, right?
Gotcha.
So people love that stick. That's an A quality tobacco. We put a lot of it in there so that you get that smooth smoke from start to finish on that cigar. And it's one of my favorites, to be honest with you. And it's one of our top sellers. The other cigar in that lineup is our Maduro lineup.
Okay.
And because most of our clients love that Maduro full body experience, we created it in the box press, which is what I have in my hand now. We created it in the Gordo, right, the 6x60. And we created it also in the Super Gordo box press.
Okay.
So that cigar is like a 770 box press.
Gotcha.
And then the newest cigar in our lineup is the Sumatra. That cigar, we did a 770 Sumatra, a little bit more peppery, a little rougher around the edges. For those who really enjoy the experience of a full body, that big gauge, that long smoke, that Sumatra is a good one for them.
Gotcha. No, I like it. And, as you and I chatted about, bringing the show here and highlighting your lounge, I think I was here probably about a month ago. And what I thought was going to be a couple-hour meeting, I think I burned through 3 of these Barber Poles during that.
Let me tell you, great cigar to burn through.
And I think at the end of the day, Brian was kind of like, I didn't anticipate having a 6-hour meeting, right?
But it was a good time.
It was a great time. It was a great time. And I'm glad from that meeting is the result of that is where we are today. So again, just great to have the conversation. So how about the process? I love the concept of the cigar line. I love the fact that you're highlighting it in your humidor. The process. Everybody wants to have a cigar line.
You hear it all the time.
How do you do it?
You hear it all the time.
How do you do it?
I was the same person.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I think it'd be great if we opened a cigar lounge. We were on a golf trip in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we were sitting in a lounge and we were talking about what it would look like to have a similar type lounge in the Northeast.
Okay.
You see a lot of these profiles of lounges in other states, but you don't necessarily see them in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so we kind of set out on this journey to kind of talk through what that would look like, Where could we put it? What would that exposure look like? What's the clientele? And then also you start learning. You listen, right? You listen to people. You want to hear what's happening there. And they would tell you that, you know, this is where you got to go. So I started working with some people in the cigar industry and visiting other lounges and keeping a list after almost 120 lounge visits of the things we loved and the things that concerned us.
Say that again. 120 lounges.
Yeah.
Around the country.
Around the country.
Gotcha.
The
Wow.
number's actually
That's
126.
diligence. That's diligence, right?
126.
Wow.
Yep. And notes, spreadsheets.
Spreadsheet. I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm that nerd, right?
I knew it.
I'm that nerd.
Because I was going to ask, right? Because I'm that nerd too.
Yeah. The spreadsheets on what exactly did we love? What didn't we love? What was the need for certain things to happen? How could we do that? And ultimately started figuring out with an architect what a space could look like. But it isn't that simple either, right? It sounds simple when you do that, but you run the roller coaster. Right? You have highs, you have lows. You look at a potential space. Somehow that doesn't work out, whether it's permitting, whether it's the traffic patterns, whether it's the parking. Because when you look at the list of things people want, these are all the things that you want to come together with.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. So understand, you know, the thought process around the initial concepts for the line, and for the lounge. And what I really like is some of the ways that you've distinguished yourself and your competitive advantage, right? Like beautiful humidor, absolutely beautiful lounge, the fact that you have a boutique line. What are some of the other things when you look at your offering to some of the other local offerings? Where do you really distinguish yourself, and where do you shine as an entrepreneur?
You know, I think first thing is your philosophy as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
For me, it was to own the property. One of the things I observed in the growth process, and a piece of feedback that someone gave me who's been in a lounge owner for 15, 20 years, said to me, own the property, own the building. And I think that allows you to put additional investments into the space that others may not have. The second thing that everyone talks about and raves about is our ventilation system. We've all been to cigar lounges where we walk in and you're sitting in that smoke. You're sitting in it, right? And of course we know we're gonna have smoke because we're enjoying it, right? That's a part of the experience. But that doesn't mean it has to sit on us. We created a ventilation system through some research and some engineering that provides the fresh air, pulls out the smoke, and in a space of almost 4,500 square feet, with 100+ people in here, the smoke dissipates very quickly.
Gotcha.
So that's the second differentiating factor.
Gotcha.
And then you mentioned the humidor. We keep about 300 curated selections of cigars here that speaks to the audience that we carry to and we cater to.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. There's something for everyone in there.
Correct.
Which I think is really great. You know, I certainly was impressed when I walked through the doors. Marvin, what were your thoughts? You know, as you were close to Brian as he came up with this idea and this concept. What were your thoughts and feelings the first time you walked into the lounge, comparing like what the end result is to the initial ideation, if you will? Yeah, like
Well,
what's that look like?
First and foremost, I was on that trip in Scottsdale.
I like it. I like it.
And we talked a lot about cigar lounges, and I've been smoking cigars since the mid-90s.
Okay.
When I started smoking cigars, I was smoking in my office, and I had a humidor in the office. So I was just enjoying my cigar all day long. It was awesome. And then the first time in this space, the very first time, Brian and I sat at a round high top on two dusty stools, and everything was hanging from the ceiling. There was dirt and wood and stuff. It was a construction site.
Yeah.
Or a deconstruction site, really, because that was the demolition of the interior
Tear down
space.
and tear down and rebuild the inside. Gotcha.
That was my first cigar in Bravado, or what
Gotcha.
would become Bravado, my first cigar. It was awesome. We sat there for, what, about 2-3 hours?
Yeah, talking.
And just talking about things, talking about dreams, talking about how the lounge will look.
Yeah.
Just talking about life.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. And then once it was all said and done, I walk in, amazed at how beautiful this place is.
Yeah.
And also amazed how wonderful the furniture is, which we also helped put together.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
I love all that. I just want to circle back on one thing. You said you started smoking cigars in the mid-90s?
Yeah.
So you had a humidor, and you're at a law firm.
Yes, I am.
Humidor, smoking cigars at a law firm in your office.
Correct.
All day.
All day.
Oh, this was what, 95, 96?
Let's see, that office was 95 through
Okay.
2003.
In New York?
New York.
Love that. Love
Right.
that.
In the financial district.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
And I still have that humidor today. That's my favorite humidor.
So
It's
you-
seasoned. It's beautiful.
So it's one of those things where you probably have bigger and better ones, but you never forget that first.
I never forget that one. I
And
have
that's
4
probably where you have
humidors.
your private stash, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Paul, how about you? Love to get your thoughts on Bravado as it moved from kind of conceptual to actually opening the doors and share what you feel the experience is here.
So I could piggyback off of what Marvin, said. We were all on that golf trip.
Okay.
So
So now I'm realizing I was the only one that wasn't on the. How long ago was this?
So let's start with that.
2-3 years, yeah.
How long ago was it?
I think it was two years ago.
It's not that
Probably
long
about
ago
2
to
years.
go
No,
from-
no, it was before that.
It was
Oh,
before
so
that.
then it has to be
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That's before
Okay.
years.
Yeah, it was about
Yeah,
4
yeah,
years ago.
before
In
2020.
Scottsdale.
I'm getting old. I can't remember anything anymore.
So I will tell you this, Steve. This is remarkable. I was also here when we were looking at wires and just looking at the pure concept of what a cigar lounge could be, right? And for me to see what Brian has been able to do from concept to reality is just phenomenal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I live about 25 minutes away from here and literally passed about 5 cigar lounges to get to here.
Yeah.
And I think we were both one of obviously the first members to sign up to be a part of this club. And I mean, it's just wonderful. My journey, as you know, I'm not a lawyer, so I couldn't sneak a humidor into my office on Wall Street, right? But I started smoking cigars as an outgrowth of playing golf, actually. So I've been playing golf for a long time. And, you get to the 19th hole, you start talking to clients and having a conversation. And someone introduced me to a cigar at that point in time. And I just, started smoking cigars from that point on. So cigars and golf, for me, particularly in my business, is kind of it's almost a competitive advantage somewhat, because as you know, having been on Wall Street yourself, it's very difficult to get people's time. And when I first started playing golf, I remember the person that introduced me to golf said to me, where else are you going to get 4 hours of somebody's time, right? Dedicated time riding in a golf cart, playing 18 holes. Regardless of how poor you played, doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is you now have an opportunity to be with someone and have conversations. So I travel, as I said, globally, and sometimes when I do have some extra time, I'll just go to Google and find out where the closest cigar lounge is.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the conversations you have. I'll tell a short story if you'll allow me to.
Absolutely.
So I was in a cigar lounge in London with a friend of mine, and we're having a conversation, and there's a guy sitting 2 tables across from us, and we're talking, and he's kind of, listening to the conversation. Wasn't a lot of people there. And we're talking about kind of one of my favorite independent film, which was it's Sliding Doors. And a lot of the scenes are filmed in Kensington. And we were in the cigar lounge in Kensington.
Okay.
And the guy enters the conversation, and he says to me, what are you basically doing in London? I said, well, I'm here on business. I'm here to see a client. And he said, "Who's the company?" I told him the company. And he said, I've been trying, he was a executive recruiter. And he said, I've been trying to talk to this person for about 2 years, and I have no way of kind of contacting him. And I said, "Who's the person that you're trying to talk to? And what are the odds, time, space, that the person he's been trying to get a hold of was my client?" Right?
The client you were there to see?
Yes.
Interesting.
Who were, he
What
and
are the
I,
odds of that?
he and I are good friends. And
Yeah.
I said, oh, well, I could get you a conversation with who you want to see. And the next day after that, call my client up. I said, "Karen, guess what? There's an interesting story, right? And there's this guy that's been trying to, get to talk to you." I said, "Here's his number."
Yeah, that's one of the. I love that story.
Here's
One of the things that I really like about cigars, and the aficionado lifestyle, is not sitting around talking about the construction or the technical aspects of a cigar, but using the cigar in the time we spend together to network and bring people together.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So that's really what I relish, and that's why I love to have these conversations, because the intent of the show here is to have a great stick and have a great conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that look here, Brian? Like, I know this is a beautiful space.
Yep.
Obviously, folks are coming together to have a great cigar. But what does it look like for business development and networking, which I think would be an excellent opportunity here?
Yeah, so it is. I mean, we're a membership-based space.
Okay.
And so our goal was to create a safe space for people who have similar minds to Paul, to Marvin, to myself, to you. Networks matter.
Yeah.
Paul's story just highlights that. And Bravado is that space. I don't think of us as a cigar lounge as much as I think of a convening space that happens to have cigars.
Gotcha.
I refer to this as a country club experience because when you're a member here, your lockers are shared with each other, right? You're going to see the similar faces. You're going to cross paths with people who are in similar industries or proximate industries. And all of a sudden, you start to create an ecosystem of Bravado members, right? They may have met in other spaces, but all of a sudden, membership in Bravado becomes that 19th hole on the golf course.
Gotcha.
And it's fun to sit back sometimes and watch the conversations take place, to see people who had not known each other now develop relationships that turn into business partnerships, that turn into confidants, right? That's the fun space of Bravado.
Yeah, and I think for you it would be especially gratifying because you know all the members and you know the folks that should be talking to each other.
Correct.
So when they actually make that connection,
Correct.
you have to say, "Hey, I had something to do with that," which
It
is
is
probably
nice.
a great
It's nice
a great
to see.
feeling to have.
It's nice to see. And I'm actually intentional about it too. Steve, one of the things we do here on a quarterly basis, we do member guest events.
Okay.
And the idea of the member guest event is, yes, the members will bring friends with them, but it's also about expanding the network to make sure that our members interact with each other, to make sure that those connections are actually facilitated, not just by happenstance.
Gotcha. So for those connections that need to be made, and perhaps maybe they're not being made naturally, you can use those quarterly events to pull pull folks together.
Correct. And it gives a chance to highlight businesses. So if someone has a business that we want to highlight during one of those member guest events, we'll have it here.
Perfect. No, I like it. How have, and you've been open for a little over a year now?
Just up 7 months.
Okay, so
Right, officially 7 months.
how has it evolved?
Well, before you answer that, let me just add something. So Brian is a natural connector. There are people that are natural connectors. They're good at it. And Brian does that. So this cigar lounge is actually, in my mind, an extension of his personality.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I can tell you that he is a natural connector. Like I know, he reached out to me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and meet with this guy. So I came up and then I happened to be texting him one day and he was on his way to DC. And I'm like, oh, we're going to connect in DC as well.
We had a great night at the
Girl
lounge.
We had a great time at Casa in DC. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
But so what are your thoughts? Like, how has the business of the lounge evolved in just the short 7 months that you've been open?
You know, having the line before the lounge,
Yeah.
you thought you had stress because you were trying to get your name and your product out there and
Yep.
get it into other lounges. But once you open a brick and mortar, you have the additional stress of making sure that your staff are paid, making sure that you have the money to cover your inventory, making sure that you have retail and supplies and all the things that create the experience.
Sure.
So it was scary at first.
Yeah.
And it still is scary, right? We haven't pushed a year, so we're still learning. I had a great mentor that said, let data drive your decisions.
Sure.
So I'm constantly looking at our point of sale to see what are the dates, the days, the times, the hours when we see growth.
Yeah.
And then also listening to see what people want in the lounge experience, right? Without becoming too commercialized for what the brand is.
Yeah.
We know we're upscale, we know we're sophisticated, we know we are the convening space for those who are in the executive space. So you don't want to dilute that brand just to fill seats.
Gotcha.
We've been
It's a delicate balance.
It really
Yeah.
is. It really
Sounds
is.
like a delicate balance.
And I don't know that I can tell you that I've perfected it yet.
Yeah.
What I can say is that I work very hard at it.
Gotcha.
And I also am the type of person that I'll listen. Feedback is critical. So I'm always asking people who come into the lounge what their experiences are so that they can give us those opinions. How did they hear about us? Paul talked about he Googled a lounge when he was in London. We get that a lot. People are Googling, people are looking on social media. So we're trying to maintain a presence in these spaces so people can get a feel for who Bravado is and say, you know what, that's a space I really want to go check out. And it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. My brother lives in Georgia on the coast in Kingsland.
Okay.
And he went to a cigar lounge down there, bought a cigar, absolutely loved the cigar. And then he did some research. So he gives me a call and says, hey, there's a cigar lounge near you. I live in West Orange, right? It's a cigar lounge near you that I think we need to try. And I found a great cigar. I said, send me a picture of the label. It's a Bravado cigar.
Oh, that's hilarious.
In Georgia. In Georgia.
What are the odds? Both of you guys have told like extremely low odds stories, which I think is awesome.
And
what are the odds of that?
Look, you know the joy you get, right? We're working on distribution across the U.S. Right now we have mostly Northeast, and then we're getting down the East Coast in the Carolinas, Georgia, working on Alabama right now, and then going into the Florida market.
Okay.
One thing you learn is that we're unapologetically a Black-owned brand. There's a desire to support culturally aligned products in the cigar space and quality products. So we're trying to be a unique differentiator, not just in the lounge space in New Jersey. And I say New Jersey, but we're already thinking about Bravado 2, Bravado 3. We're looking at locations not just in New Jersey, but in other locales that would support this type of lounge experience, but also getting our product in front of people so they can experience a great cigar that has the following that Bravado does.
I like it. A couple things you touched on. I want to dig a little deeper. One is analytics, right? How are you leveraging analytics to drive business decisions?
Yep.
I know point of sales is one of them, but what other type of data? You know, again, I'm a data geek as well.
Yep.
You know, spend a lot of time at Microsoft just unpacking data, and using data to make real-time business decisions.
Yep.
So what type of analytics are you using, and what types of business decisions are those analytics useful for?
So what's funny is I didn't jump on the bandwagon earlier, but I'm also a Syracuse guy.
What?
Outnumbered.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
You guys all three went to Syracuse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need some help from my Hoya
fans
out there. We're all friends, though.
We're all friends. We're all friends. You know, they taught us
Till November
well.
rolls around.
They taught us well how to beat Georgetown. My MBA is in organization and management, right?
Okay.
So it's looking at data to drive decisions. When you think about a business, any business, the goal is to understand what your clients want and make sure you provide it, and more, because sometimes clients don't even know what they want until they get there.
Yeah.
So creating the profiles of cigars in our humidor is even a real showcase of how data analytics works, because you look and see what proximate brands go with the lines that people are coming in here to buy, and you make sure to have those. We restage our humidor every 30 days.
Okay.
So that, I say stale, but not from a product use stale, but from a, I don't want the person to come into the humidor and have the same experience every time.
Sure.
I want you to see what we have. I want you to search around, to listen and have a conversation with our team,
Sure.
and let them suggest other products that might be of interest to you. And in that way, we help grow the knowledge of our clients that come into Bravado.
I like it.
The other thing about analytics is economics,
Yeah.
right? We opened up and we staffed heavily. Then you look and see the trends of when people come into the lounge, and you realize that's not necessary. And so we back down a little bit on our staffing
Gotcha.
to align most appropriately with our trending numbers. From a planning perspective, we also know how much we need to source in dollars in product, not just cigars, but in sodas, juices, waters, all the ancillary things that our clients expect from us when they get here.
Sure.
From a furniture perspective, how much are you investing in? What type of furniture? What's your turnaround in terms of, you expect the furniture is going to wear, right? So what's the deferred maintenance that you're putting out for the next year and a half?
Gotcha.
All these things come into play when we think about what we're doing here.
Yeah, no, I like it. One of the things that I think, again, both in investment banking as well as in tech, I traveled a lot, and to that point, I always made it a point to stop in at a local lounge, right? Mm-hmm. So where my business associates were, 3 and 4 hour dinners, I was cutting out after an hour or two, and I'm going to check out a lounge, right? So I'm, very keen on what the ideal lounge experience is. Mm-hmm. I'd love to get your thoughts, because one of the things I've worked professionally in the DC, Baltimore area for my entire career, except for a 3-year stint when I was in Seattle. And one of the things that was really, really different in Seattle are private lounges with 24-hour access. Once you have that experience, it's so hard to go back.
I get it.
But tell me about your thoughts around that.
Yep.
And how there would be potentially an opportunity to look at something like that. And what would it look like?
Yeah. So I think the planning...
does your analytics and your data support that as a possibility?
I would say that if we just spoke to analytics, the answer is no just yet.
Okay.
But we haven't had a trial yet of that. We built the building with HID locks, proximity swipe cards, with the intention that we could go to that model should we wish to.
Yeah.
We invested in a city that's in a major turnaround. The city of Orange Township, New Jersey, is going through what I call sort of this revolution, right? It's taking old factories that used to house industries and manufacturing that left, turning them into beautiful new condos. We're seeing a New York City crop of residents coming in, looking for more entertainment experiences in the New Jersey market, not the New York market. Yep. And as we see things turn, I think the opportunity to open up later and potentially 24 hours is there.
Gotcha.
I think we're just waiting to build our pipeline of members to get a better sense of whether that's something of interest to them as well.
Yeah, I think the good news there, and that's encouraging. I think that's an awesome way to look at it. But one of the things that can inform that is conversations and analytics around who's here at what times and how many folks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I've spoken to a couple of lounge owners, and that's what they're all about right now.
Yep.
Are there certain evenings or certain days that they should open later
Mm-hmm.
and stay open later?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And are there core days or hours where they're just packed and they can't handle the capacity?
The capacity, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, we're not as young as we used to be. So what's happening is that midnight time frame, you start to see a drift off.
Gotcha.
And from an analytics perspective on the lounge side, when
Yep.
we sit down as lounge owners and kind of chop it up a little
Yeah.
bit, we know that that last hour before your closing time is
Mhm.
your most expensive hour.
Yeah.
Because most people are now in the sunset. They're not buying any cigars. They're saying, I'm going to enjoy my stick for an hour.
Yeah.
But in that hour, they're probably not going to be spending much, right? And it's the economics of
Your costs are
running a business.
fixed and your revenue's declining.
They're
I
declining.
gotcha.
They're declining.
Yeah.
So when people start asking to stay open later, we start thinking about how much more decline are we going to have in
Right.
those times,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
And then you got to remember, for Bravado, our experience is what we pride ourselves on. So to have the staff here means you're going to be paying the staff to be here to continue that experience.
Right.
So you don't want to give up the experience just to say that we're open, right? Because part of coming to Bravado is being treated like you're at a country club experience.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a test in time, and I'd be interested for us to sit down a year from now, 2 years from now, and talk about what that looks like then from where we are today.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So we talked about utilizing this space and having an opportunity to come together and have great conversations,
Mhm.
right? Talk to me about the concept of brotherhood and what that looks like for members
Yeah.
and prospective members.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
How do you have those conversations and what do those look like?
So it's so interesting that you say Brotherhood. We all also are part of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated,
Okay.
the first. What I will say there is
Gotcha.
the lounge experience is also interesting because it's not just about brotherhood.
Gotcha.
40% of our members are women. A growing population of people in the cigar space are women, and Bravado caters to that audience as well. And what you find is that the conversation around the members and guests in Bravado are quite vast and varied.
Yeah.
And I think it brings fun, excitement, learning, and entertainment, right,
Yeah.
to what we do in our social lives.
Gotcha.
So the conversation is what also I think people come here and look for, because you don't know who you're going to walk in and see. And then you start to build friendships with people, and now you start to plan to come together,
Gotcha.
right? So that's kind of fun to watch that transition happen as well.
No, I like that.
So we could talk about one of those, right? I mentioned earlier that my progression to smoking cigars was from golf. There's a gentleman here that he smokes cigars, and we met him, and then we have a little golf group that we play. And we happened to be holding it in New Jersey this year. Folks come from all over the country, and he joined that. So you see the relationships develop, the network can develop. And a lot of times I'm sitting here and, I may ask somebody that I haven't seen before, hey, how did you find out about Bravado? And one of the things that I think helps differentiate this lounge from a lot is their social media presence. And a lot of times folks have said, well, I had a couple of hours to spare, and I, went to IG and I saw that this was, local, and I came here.
Yeah.
And to Brian's point, once you walk in these doors, with his staff and himself, you get a very welcoming experience. And that counts, because I've been to cigar lounges that I've walked in, I've bought a stick, I sit there, and I almost feel like, well, nobody's coming over, nobody's engaging. So after I smoke this, let me leave and never come back.
Yeah, no, I like that. Again, I've been to a lot of lounges. I don't think 126, but probably pretty close. And there are definite ones that I always make certain I go back to. And then there are ones that I tend to avoid for that exact reason, right? Like you walk in, you instantly know you're a number. Hey, what cigar do you want? Hey, sit over there and try it. Those are not inviting environments. But two things that Paul touched on. want to pull the string on that a little more, but I also want to talk about your social media marketing and how that has helped to evolve and grow not only the line, but also the lounge.
Gotcha.
So how about the social media again? Because I follow, and I was drawn to some of the reels and shorts that you put together.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that, like who's doing that and who's the creative force behind that? Because it's great work.
So I'd say it's mutual. When we first started, one of our staff members has a lot of knowledge in social media presence. And honestly, feedback from friends that we had to get Bravado in a different space, right? To differentiate us, not just in what we provide here, but to get the word out and so people knew that we had the amenities that we had. So how do we do it? I think it's a team effort, right? Because there are times when some of our team members will see something and go, that would be great to capture.
Gotcha.
And they'll send it to me and say, Brian, look what happened Thursday night. There have been times where I've walked in here and there's been a coach of a major football team just sitting here. We've had players from the Dallas Cowboys who were in town for a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Since they didn't make it this year.
You're not hurting my feelings. That actually sounds good to me.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
I live in D.C., so.
Got you. They were here to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they were in town and they found the Cigar Lounge by Googling it. And just dropping in. I think part of it is thinking about what we want people to know about us and being unapologetic about who we are. There are some things that some people will see as positives and some things that others say that's not really for me.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that, but we're going to make sure we highlight what we have to offer. So we're looking at our analytics on reels that we do. We're looking and partnering with Burn and Learns and Stogie Hub and other social media profiles that are in alignment with our brand.
Sure.
To make sure that those audiences also know who we are. And then we're also just having fun. I mean, I think sometimes we get so technical and serious about it and we invest all this money into it and forget that Bravado is what it is. All we're doing is showing it to people. So tonight, it's NBA Game 7 finals. We're going to highlight that and hope that people come out and watch the games on one of our 15 TVs and experience Bravado because they just wanted to watch the game, not because they really, again, a convening space that happens to have cigars.
Yeah, well, no, I love the story. I mean, think about your differentiators. Beautiful lounge, upscale in my opinion, boutique cigar line, own the building so you control your destiny, and already thinking about additional locations. So that to me is a thriving but very well thought out business. And it has to be a testament to your background, the team you have around you, and the product that you've put out. And so it's beautiful. What's next? What haven't you done here that you hope to do?
That's a good question.
Love to know more about that.
What haven't we done here that we're looking to do more of? I think we're looking to get into the live music space more. I think our audience enjoys jazz, R&B. I'd like to see more live artists potentially being a space that we can either start careers or elevate careers. I think that I want to become more of I want more people to know that Bravado exists. I think in 7 months, any business that's just started works really hard to get the word out.
Oh, believe me.
I think once we have that traction happening, I really think more people will grow in their own from the networks that they gain coming to Bravado.
I like it. Again, you hit the nail on the head. You know, basically, like as a new business, exposure and just people knowing that it exists is literally half the battle, right? So word of mouth, social media marketing, putting out a great product allows people to go and want to tell that story to others. I've seen that on the podcast, which I'm very thankful for. I'm seeing it now on Stogie Hub with the number of folks that are hitting the website, you know, making transactions, setting up user profiles. So I wholeheartedly understand and agree with that. But going back to the stick, the Barber Pole, which again, for the Bravado cigar line is my favorite. You can tell I'm enjoying this. One thing that I found is that this stick is completely consistent throughout,
Correct.
beautifully
Correct.
constructed,
Correct.
and just a great medium plus smoke.
Ask the tasters. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I thank both of you. I thank both of you gentlemen, all three of you guys.
Again, back to taking it to those who enjoy it. That cigar is on version 4.
Okay.
In terms of R&D, that cigar is probably our most expensive to get to make and get to that place.
Okay.
On average, that cigar probably took us about 2 years to get to what you have in your hand.
Gotcha.
And it's my favorite. It becomes a favorite of many here.
Yeah.
And so that's why you can only get it here. We don't actually sell that cigar in other lounges.
Okay, so this doesn't go out.
Just that cigar doesn't go out. You have to
You're
come
selling
to
through
Bravado,
here. Gotcha.
to get
Gotcha.
that particular cigar.
Gotcha.
For now, right? For now. But I think it's also about walking people through that experience.
Yeah, no, again, beautiful smoke. I think the first time I was here, I had two of these.
Mm-hmm.
I took a handful with me.
Appreciate you.
And about 3 weeks after, I'm like, I did not get enough.
Don't worry.
So I
Don't worry.
was driving up yesterday, and I'm like, hey, this is going to be great. I'm going to love this experience. But before I thought about all that, I'm like, the Barber
Gotta get the Barber Pole.
That's
Gotta
it.
get the Barber Pole.
That's it.
You know, we to get to that required us to have a number of opinions, perspectives on what somebody wanted in that type of experience.
Gotcha.
Because everybody who wants a full body wants a good full body experience. When you get into sort of that middle ground, right?
Yeah.
Most entry points into the traditional cigar space are the Connecticut's.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not a bad experience, people will enjoy that, right? But when you're in that middle ground, that medium plus, you don't want to push somebody to the full body Maduro. When you're talking to that person in the humidor and they're trying to explain what they want,
Yeah.
right? That was the list of things we were trying to check off in creating that Barber Pole, which is why it was such a challenging experience to do.
I like it. I
Mhm.
like it. So Marvin, Paul, how about the cigars that you're enjoying? What are your thoughts now that you're a third moving through, 2/3 through, or?
I'm enjoying it. I obviously I like the taste. I like the consistency. I like the pull on the smoke. And
Gotcha.
and it's a pleasure to sit here and have this conversation and smoke such a great cigar.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's a Maduro,
Okay.
nicely wrapped, beautiful cigar. It burns pretty evenly.
Yeah.
It's nice. It has, for my palate, it has hints of leather and coffee,
Okay.
which is nice. And as Maduros go, it's really not that strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice Maduro, as opposed to a harsh
Harsh.
one,
Mhm.
you know. And
Got it.
it's not as flavorful and as the Barber Pole,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an equally good cigar.
Gotcha.
It's a great cigar.
So
I like
it's so funny he says that. If you don't know, that was intentional for us in our Maduro. There are people who want that heavy, full-bodied experience.
Gotcha.
That there is one line, the Triple Maduro, that takes you there. There are a number of brands that provide that. Our audience wants a full-body Maduro that isn't taking it to that extreme.
Right.
So even though it's a Maduro, it fits our population, it fits our audiences, because we didn't go with the harsh Maduro that leaves an aftertaste or an afterbite.
Sure.
There are people who search for that and look for that experience, but for our clients and the people who we were targeting with the Bravado brand of Maduro, we actually pulled back a little bit because that was feedback we received.
Gotcha.
And our Maduro comes in 3 profiles. They're smoking the Gordo, the 6x60.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the box press version of it. And we also have the Super Gordo version in a 770. Same blends,
Yeah.
right? But just for the profile of the person and what they want.
Different Vitola.
I enjoy the elegance of the box press.
Gotcha.
You have some who love the girth of the 6x60, And then you have those who want that big gauge cigar.
Who are
so
the,
we
who are
created
the
that.
70 by 70 guys?
Oh man, yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Look. Sometimes people overcompensate, right?
I
But we wanted everybody to feel welcome, right? Everybody feels welcome.
That's a
with it.
little on the edge.
That gauge is just it's a bigger gauge for me, and it's just too. I don't know that I want that long of a smoke on a 770.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I prefer the flavor profile of a Toro with the length of, sometimes I'll take a Robusto, right?
Yeah.
We don't offer the Robusto in the Maduro because most people who get a Maduro, they actually want to spend a little more time with it.
Time with it.
So we created in the Toro length
Gotcha.
and the Gordo length as well in the 6.
I like it. Like I said, beautiful line. I mean, the ability for you as an operator to strike the balance between growing the line and growing the lounge. We could spend a whole separate episode on that. So I want to have that follow-up conversation.
Let's get you back
because I think that's fascinating.
I'd love to have you.
But again, we'll begin to wrap. But what I'd love to know is, so we've spent a lot of time talking about the line and talking about the lounge, talking about your social media marketing and the opportunity to come together and network and business develop. From the conversation that we've had thus far, and from your offering and what you do here, what's something about Bravado that people don't know that you'd like to take this time to share with them?
While you think about that,
Please.
the boxes, the membership boxes are awesome. You could put your cigars in there because they are humidified, and some of them are large enough for bottles and everything. In my box, for example, I have all types of things that we could enjoy, including tequila and scotch and bourbon and things like that. And my wife is an occasional cigar smoker as well.
Okay.
And so she has some vodka in there, some pineapple juice and other mixers and things.
Gotcha.
And they sell mixers here too. So I think that is one of the things that members enjoy most is to be able to put cigars in your locker,
In the locker.
and they don't dry out.
Gotcha. Humidified with a locker that's large enough for your beverage of choice
Beverage of choice.
and your mixer.
Uh-huh.
So you're providing a beautiful venue, and each member is able to curate their experience to what they want it to be, which I think is awesome as well.
Correct. To answer your question about what do I want people to know about us, and I'm just loving being someone that's making an impact in this industry.
Gotcha.
I think there are people who created cigar lines and that was their impact. I think there are people who revolutionized how we engage. I think when people think about Bravado, I want them to think about the space, the friendships, the conversations, the memories.
Gotcha.
That have been curated here, that have been developed here. And I hope that the impact that I wanted to have as an individual, Bravado has as an industry, right? As a facility, and as an experience. Like I think about Bravado as an experience, not just a sale or a cigar, but I want you to come here and I want you to leave with something more than you walked in the door.
Gotcha. No, I love it. Again, appreciate the opportunity. Certainly humbled, and thank you for the experience and the hospitality, right? Congrats on where you are right now in a very short period of time on the lounge. We obviously wish you continued success. We'd love to have you back on. Marvin and Paul, appreciate you joining. A great opportunity to come together. And so I want to thank everyone for allowing me to join and just take part in what you've built here, because I think it's truly a differentiator.
Thank you very much.
So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap. Any parting thoughts as we wrap up?
Again, having gone to a number of cigar venues myself, what I like about here is the people, the relaxation. It's not. Some cigar lounges tend to be overcrowded, too loud. can't really have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that. I mean, it's a relaxing environment. I think that's very important. And obviously, the cigars, because it goes a long way in terms of someone that's new to smoking. The first experience you have with that cigar will determine whether you continue to smoke.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I enjoy my time here. Sometimes I get here about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes I get here in the evening. Sometimes on the weekends. I'm usually in the corner. I might be asleep. I don't know.
Because if you're asleep, you truly don't know, right? I gotcha.
But it's always a good time.
Gotcha.
And the members and our and the other people that come, it's always just good to chop it up with them. We've been able to talk with someone who's also a member to arrange jobs for young people. We've done that. I've done that.
Gotcha.
And also in regards to other lawyers that come in. So I'm creating a synergy with another law firm because our office, we have offices in 44 different places across the nation.
Okay.
And we wanted to increase our presence in New Jersey. So we're having a discussion with another member in order to try to do that.
Gotcha.
So, Bravado.
No, I love it. Well, again, gentlemen, appreciate
Thanks,
the opportunity. It's been a great conversation. We look forward to coming back. Hopefully you'll have us back. And with that, again, thank you. We'd like to wrap up, and we look forward to the next opportunity to come together.
Absolutely.
Good evening.
Thanks for lighting one up with us. That was Stephen Mann. And you've been listening to Burn and Learn. The Cigar Lifestyle Podcast is brought to you by Stogie Hub. Elevate your cigar game. And Access Studios. Access the power of video. Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel for exclusive content and hit that subscribe button to stay updated.